What's up, guys? Dutch Boyd here, live in Las Vegas, Nevada, with a 4-minute delay today. It's a little bit longer than normal because we are playing the big ones. We're playing the 200, 20K, and there's a winter festival going on at wsop.com this week. It starts today. We're going to be playing that too. It's a $200 re-entry. We also might be playing that $100 reloader and maybe a few of the 30s. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so let's get started. We're going to be late regging most of these tournaments today. I'm going to wait for the to get into the 25K guarantee until a little bit later on. I don't want that to turn into an $800 tournament. So it's going to be a $400 tournament. We're going to be starting with 15,000 chips, and we'll get that going here a little bit closer to the end. But here we go. Starting today is going to be the $200 $20,000 guaranteed weekly Sunday. This is kind of the flagship tournament of the week. Let me get it going right over here. Add that scene right there, and there it is. Oh, what a beautiful tournament this is. We got B. Shriver to our right. I'm pretty sure he is currently number one in the WSP Player of the Year race. So he's the one to beat. A couple of regulars here. We got I Love Poon. We got Citrus, Silver Moon, and how are you guys doing? How's your Sunday going? Tell you what, I read I didn't read the whole study. I read an abstract yesterday. I was learning a little bit about nootropics, right? I was thinking, I wonder if there's some things I can do to my brain chemically to give me an edge at poker. And I was reading about all the different drugs and everything that a lot of other poker players have been taking at the tables, things like Adderall and things like, what's the one that starts with an M? I want to say it's Malaferin or something like that. Anyway, though, turns out that the most effective nootropics, the most effective thing you can do for your brain is work out. Just work out every day, and that instantly is going to boost cognitive ability. And the second thing is coffee. And it turns out that coffee and green tea together have a really strong effect. So it's going to that's what we got. I actually got a little thing of coffee right here, green tea right here. I'm going to be taking them together, see if it helps. Exmo's going to be on the stream later on today, guys. She's making some gumbo right now. Gumbo. Stirring up that roux. Okay. Look alive, look sharp. 421. We're not late. We're early. Shriver coming in with a 105. Wonder how he ended up in that 30 last night. Oh shit!
What?
This is the re-entry. I got into the re-entry.
You're in the wrong one?
I got into the wrong one. We were trying to get into the weekly Sunday.
Wait, is the re-entry cheap? Is it a cheaper one or something?
Ugh. Okay, so I'm gonna have to kind of play that one on my belly.
Oh, that sucks.
That's what we didn't want to do. We didn't want to jump into this re-entry until later on. I don't want this to be an $800 tournament, but here we are. Okay, so this is the Winter Poker Classic 25K. The one that I wanted to be jumping into was this one. And we're going to be kind of going back and forth between these two tournaments today. It's okay, we know how to play a deep stack. We won't let ourselves get too crazy post flop. And I mean, with deep stacks, their mistakes are pretty well magnified. Nick at 2 Cards in the stream. Ross the Boss in the stream. Good to see you.
I'm just watching. Is it okay if I watch right here?
Yeah.
Is it bothering you?
It kind of bothered me a little
Oh.
bit.
I'm
It's
looking
okay.
over his shoulder.
It's okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dutch's new friend.
That's funny.
You gonna shove?
No,
I'm
we're
just
not gonna
kidding.
shove.
I won't come here. I won't bother you then.
Okay.
I know when I'm not wanted.
No, I want
It's
you.
all right.
Okay, we got Gamer Grill. We got Decker 711. Good to see you guys. Got kind of an interesting hand brewing in the Winter Festival. Pretty good run out.
I'm gonna watch the stream in this other room.
And we got Nilesy. Good to see you, my friend. I saw that you were streaming today. So you're streaming that war game. Looks pretty fun. Okay, so right off the bat, we're up 40% of our stack. Not a bad start in this Winter Poker Classic. That probably actually puts us pretty close to the front. 5 out of 32. There it is. Let's go switch back over to the 20K, the main tournament of the day. 117 entrants, 117 runners in this thing. Wow. Set much? We got J Doc. Oh my gosh, look at that awesome Nowsy Grump Cat. Oh, I love it. That's wonderful. And we got Vice Chick in the stream. It's good to see you, Vice Chick. It's like there's two of us. Oh man, this is what I'm seeing, you guys. Nazi says, "What's up, Dutch? Hope you enjoy your new emote. It looks like you." It's like there's two of us. Okay. Thank you for that, Nilesy. Appreciate the new emoticon. Chicago Realty now. Good to see you in the stream, man. I wonder, one of those. I think the Golden Globes is tonight, right? And one of the movies that's up is a movie called 99 Houses. I think that's what it's called. It's about a real estate agent. I wonder if you've seen it, Chicago Realty now, and can give us a little bit of a movie report. Let us know if it's worth taking a look at. Okay, so Flop Shopper, Telomere, Sestra, Banana Anna, Nutch, H2O Man, Core Bomb 19, and Rome for me. I recognize a few of these guys. Played a little bit with H2O Man last night, and oh my gosh, what a delight! Just what a wonderful guy this guy is to have at the table. Got a few notes on him. You guys will probably remember a few of the hands that pumped us up in that 30 last night. Flop Shopper, there's a familiar name. Nutch is a tough cookie. He's definitely one to take some interesting lines, some pretty creative lines. Let me see if I have any notes on Flop Shopper or Telomere here. Telomere. What is a telomere? A telomere, if I recall from biology, is that little bit of a tail on is it the nucleus of a cell? Is it like actually like connected to the nucleus? I want to say it is, that signals to the cell when it makes a copy of itself to change the copy just a little bit, and it's basically the that little tail is responsible for aging. So when people are like on the lookout to stop or reverse the biological clock, they think that little telomere is the key to it. Fun little fact about that, right? So one of the one of the charities that are out there is called the Methuselah Project, and it's basically a bunch of these guys who got together and put up $1 million prize for anybody who can get a mouse to live a certain amount of time. Like right now, the lifespan of a mouse is somewhere like between a year and 2 years, and they're trying to say, okay, if you can double the lifespan of a mouse, then we're going to give you this $1 million prize. And Justin Bonomo, who now is kind of focuses emphasis to polyamory and drug use in the desert, but once upon a time he was really in on this whole idea of living forever. And so he pledged, I think it was 1% of all of his tournament winnings to the Methuselah Project. I had read that on his bio. I was kind of impressed. I was like, that's kind of cool. And when I met him, I was actually pretty disappointed when I met him for the very first time. I remember it was, I want to say it was a WSOP event somewhere around 2007. And I remember asking him if he actually owned a mouse, if he was actually working actively on him, in his free time at solving this whole this whole aging problem. He's like, oh no, I just donate to the charity, and I was really disappointed at that. I felt like, you gotta Lorenzo's oils this shit. You can't just like expect that you're gonna be able to pay somebody $1 million to solve the problem for you, Bonomo. You gotta go out and do the work yourself too. Fight the good fight. You need to have a mouse. He did not have a mouse, and I was a little disappointed. Actually, I was a little disappointed. I would have been so impressed if he was like, "Yeah, I got a mouse, but I'm on my third mouse. I haven't been able to get him to go past a year." I would have been so impressed. I'll tell you, one of the big problems with that whole charity too is that it's a mouse. They really need to go with something that has a smaller lifespan. Something like a fruit fly would have been a lot easier. It would have sped the project up. It's more, it's more just a symbolic thing, I think. I mean, but it could have been more. It could have been more. Double fisting. Okay, we got the coffee, we got the green tea, we got Jinjoy in the stream. Good to see you, Jinjoy. Sniper MPS, win by TKO. Win by TKO. Don't believe that for a second. You belong in the felt with an occasional trip to the kitchen. Cubs win it all. Oh, what a sad username that is. I would hate to be streaming your channel while playing you and see that I'm a fish. Don't take it personally. If you guys are watching, you got that little bony fish next to your name. It doesn't mean that you're a fish, at the table or real life. It just means that you've done some things in the past that I thought were obvious indicators that maybe you didn't know what you were doing at the table. But you know what? Those change all the time. All the time. There's been plenty of instances where someone started a fish, turned into a shark, then turned into a bull, and then turned into a donkey, and then turned into a cock. I mean, like they change all the time. So don't take it personally. Take it as positive and constructive as you can. If you end up tuning in like this, I don't like it. I don't really like the open limps. I feel like it just opens you up to this kind of attack. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and do a little isolation here. It's a little bit early, but it's not that early. 40, 80. 50 something big blinds. It's a little bit less for him. We're going to go ahead and attack him. We're going to go ahead and set him up for a C-bet. Heads up with the aggression. Both of us usually miss, and we're going to be able to just take it down by by sneezing at it post flop, if we even have to. Sometimes he just folds, and that's exactly what happened. We ended up picking up a 200 pot without actually even having to fade a flop. So that's poker, finding those spots and taking advantage of them. We got Grinding and Ground in the stream. Good to see you, Grinding and Ground. We got to get together sometime here in the next week or two, man. Still have to get you that Eczema hat, and got to get you that fist bump T-shirt. You got a couple prizes coming for that Poker Zero League, so it's good to see you, Grinding and Ground. I hope that your year's going good so far. Tell your family hi from me and X. Got a little bit of an interesting hand brewing over here in the Winter Festival. Pocket Queens under the gun +1. I like it. I Love Poon deciding he's going to try to crack us. Citrus coming along for the ride. We got Oil Boy. We got Decoff. We got a 5-way hand, and we got an ace on the flop. So that's not what we're looking for. Done with it. Check, fold, take this pot. Now we have outs. Now we have 6 outs. Not really clean outs, though, are they? It's actually only 5 clean outs. Maybe a 10 isn't even really a clean out. I mean, like, a queen is also not really a clean out. Forget what I said. We don't actually have any outs here. I mean, I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, well, if we hit a queen, then a 10 makes it win the straight. If we hit a 10, then, we could be looking at a really, really strong second best hand to a king-queen. There's nothing really that we could hit there where I'm going to just be doing backflips for joy. Even if I could do a backflip, I wouldn't be doing it with a 10. I wouldn't be doing it with a queen. I guess I'd rather see one of the 4 10s, but which one? If we had a diamond or a heart, it fills a flush. It's always going to be a little bit of trouble, and we're never going to get that much in there. So we got 10 9, 8 9, 10 jack, nice hand. King 8 of hearts for the Decoff over there. Decaf. That's cute. That's a cute little username, Decaf. He must not have read the same abstract of the nootropic study that said that caffeine, along with the one of the things in green tea, is one of the best nootropics out there. Grinding and Ground. Saying, I'll get you a mouse. I can't afford much, but a mouse is easy. I don't want a mouse, buddy. I want a fruit fly. Give me a fruit fly. We got Papist in the stream. Good to see you, Papist. Good morning to you, and good morning to you, sir. It's great to see you, man. Papist. Always a pleasure to see you in the stream, buddy. One of our friends from down under. You gonna be playing that Aussie Million, Papist? I was thinking about going out there. We got our passports ready to go, but then I was pricing it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a long flight. And they're pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive tickets, so we ended up not going. A 4-1 action here, 4.5. Yeah, let's do it. Oh, this is beautiful. We just keep on just crushing flops here. I Love Poon firing out a half pot size bet. Oil Boy calling. I'm going to go for a check raise. I think that if I Love Poon or Oil Boy have a bigger pocket pair than 10s, I think that we're probably going to get a pretty big pot from them. Instead, we just slide through. So I wonder what they're willing to fold. I wonder if I Love Poon or Oil Boy is really willing to fold a 10 there. I don't think so. But maybe they made a really tight and good fold there. Citrus making the raise. Ace 4 of spades is the kind of hand that we like to play early on, so let's do it. Core Bomb, good to see you. He says, hey, I'm at your table. Which one? Core Bomb 19, there you are, man. I see ya. Good luck in this. pretty good turn for ace four spades. Now we've got some outs. And still let Citrus take the lead in this hand. The 9 should help us. Now we don't have to worry about ace 10 or ace jack having us beat. Still gonna let him go ahead and take the driver's seat. He had pocket 2s, so only 1 out there on the turn. And we got Bruce Cohen. Good to see you. He says, welcome back, Dutch. Thank you very much for the welcome. Let's go make the raise here against I Love Poon. I Love Poon. He made a pretty nasty slow roll to us a couple months back, which is why he's got that cock on his head. He had pocket aces. He raised, we re-raised, and then he just tanked and tanked and tanked and tanked before calling. And I was like, oh, man. Lame. Pretty wet board there against Josh for jazz, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and c-bet. If the flop scares you, it scares them too, right? Ace of clubs on the turn. It's pretty good turn card for us. Fire out. And let's switch back over to the weekly Sunday. We're a little bit further along in this weekly Sunday. We don't have the kind of chips that we have in the Winter Poker Classic event number 1, but this is a good tournament. 121 people starting today, 96 still in, or 64 with 46 big blinds in front of us, about 47 bigs. Nilesy says, got a link to that Nootropics article regarding caffeine and green tea. Would be interesting to read. It's not an interesting read. The abstract was even hard to understand, and then when you actually open up the article, it's way above my pay grade, my friend. But yeah, let me see if I can't dig it up. I got the link actually from the Wikipedia page on nootropics, where they start going through all the different types of nootropics. Nootropics is just a fancy way for saying brain drug. That's what that is. Okay, firing out 180. You guys can't see because it's the Winter Festival, but we're hitting a lot. Hitting a lot of hands in this Winter Festival tourney. Ugh. Okay, I gotta look at this. What do you guys think of this? We raised pre-flop. Oil Boy called. He called our c-bet on the flop, and then on the turn he checked, and then check raised really quickly. You guys are going to think I'm the nittiest nit, but there it is, making the fold here, thinking that, you know what, I actually don't think I'm ahead. I think that I have about 10 outs there for 20%, and I'm looking at 4-1. And I'm not getting 4-1 to make the call. I'm getting 2-1 plus the implied odds of a little less than half the pot, so a little less than 3-1. Because I do put him exactly on a flush there. The way he made the check raise and the amount of the check raise really is, clued me in. Although, maybe he had something like 2 pair and he was just worried about me hitting the club. Maybe he had something like a set of 6s and he was worried about me hitting the club. But I don't think so. you look at all the different combinations of, it's not like we've got the third best hand there with a set of eights. We're actually looking at about number 70 something. When you, is it that much? Let me think here. I think about 45 different combinations of flushes he could have. So, and then we're looking at what, 6 combinations of queens, set of queens. So we're looking at about 51. We're looking at like the 52nd best hand possible there. You look at a hand like a set of eights, it feels like so super strong. But when you put it into perspective and you say, well, there's about 50 hands ahead of you. So you're looking at like the 51st nut hand. Well, then it doesn't sound so impressive. So yeah, I mean, looking at that fold, maybe you're gonna think that it's like the nittiest thing I've ever done on the stream. You forget though, we folded queens pre-flop a few times, so it's not the nittiest thing we've done. Folding a set on a turn check raise for the full pot. It is a re-entry. It is a re-entry. Okay, let me see if I can't find that nootropics thing, and then I'm gonna put that. We're gonna put that. We're gonna put that hand to rest, and we're gonna try to forget about it. Okay, we're gonna try to forget about that set that we just folded, and we're gonna pretend that what. Let's just pretend that 8 was a 7, and we didn't hit the set. It always feels wrong to fold, although I'm pretty sure, I'm more than 50% sure that we were actually beat with that set. But it always feels wrong to fold, you guys. I mean, you look down at like a hand like that, and you're like, how can we fold that? Well, not really. I'm not really ready to put in 50, 60 big blinds in with a 52nd best hand. That's why. That's Monster Yoda 99 subscribed for 6 months in a row. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Great to have you here in the stream. Okay, look, we got a Queen 7 here against I Love Poon. God. Okay, we're gonna make the fold there. Problem with a guy like I Love Poon is not only is he kind of a dick, but he's also a pretty good player. He's also a pretty good player. He's the kind of person that I don't really think that. We're gonna be able to outplay and outmaneuver post flop out of position with a less than hand. So let's get out of his way with a hand like Queen 7 off. We got JTS 760, man. How are you doing? He says, Dutch, just downloaded your book last night. I'm halfway through at this point. I have to say, I appreciate you for going after something you believe, regardless of the outcome. Life is all about trial and error. Mad respect for you. You already created a story that I, for one, wanted to read about. I wish you the best in life, man. I hope you take that 25K down. JTS, man, thank you very much for the good, kind words, and I hope that you do finish the book. I feel like it took me about a year to write, and I feel like I developed as a writer over that year. So it finishes stronger than it starts. And man, JTS, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you spending the time to actually read that thing. Well, check this out. Well, never mind. We'll focus on the ace nine of hearts. We just flopped another set here in the weekly Sunday, and ended up not getting anything for it. But Louis Helm up to 42nd in POI, he says. It looks like those 4 points we got last night really were pretty critical, huh? Let's just do a little double win. Let's just do a double whammy in this 200 weekly Sunday and the 200 Winter Festival. I think that'd probably do it. That'd probably catch right up there to number one. Louis Helm, it's good to see you in the stream, man. Okay, B. Shriever making the raise in this weekly festival. I'll make the fold. How are we doing with the 9-5 of clubs? Not so good. Not so good. Banana Anna Fofana making the raise. And we have Flop Shopper re-raising another 1,000 up top. Makes an easy decision even easier. There it is. Look at that. A set of fours against top pair, top kicker. Banana Anna. There's a lot of chips to get in the middle there, my friend. And Flop Shopper played it pretty good. I suppose. I guess if there's a time and a place for slow playing, maybe that was it. Probably not, though, really. If he didn't make the raise on that flop, that 8 of clubs on the turn might have slowed down Banana Anna.
We are gonna take over the poker world.
We got Mustard Colonel, 6 months in a row. Thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate you sticking around and supporting the stream. Okay. That looks like a pretty good turn card for us. It's a pretty good bluffing card. Fire out, and I think Banana Anna will probably lay down those core cards unless one of them is a spade. Well, a check raise is probably going to get us out. Got it. Hey, Nilesy, here is that link. Super interesting read. Maybe not. Let's switch over to this. B. Shriever making the limp, and yeah, I'll go ahead and raise with a little positional advantage. Ace 10 6, we hit a little bit of it. Fire out the same amount. King 8's no good here, Shriever. Makes the call. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and take a little free card. Queen 10 is pretty good. 10-8's pretty good. What do you got, Shriver? Queen Jack. Okay, we're in good shape. Good shape. So Nilesy, I have read a lot of the other Stephen King books. I went through a little bit of a Stephen King phase uh, towards the end of school, and then a few years after school. Read a lot of them. Um, I never actually read The Stand though. Saw the movie. Saw the movie and was like, yeah. I mean, he's so prolific. I figured I'd spend my time on some books that he had, that I didn't actually know anything about. Insomnia was pretty good. I really did like Insomnia quite a bit. I did read that book, yeah, and I liked it. I also liked the Richard Bachman book, like Regulators, was really pretty good. Um, Looking forward to seeing how J.J. Abrams handles that time travel story that he did, and I haven't read that one. I kind of stopped reading Stephen King. I guess about 10 years ago. I don't know why. I mean, the last Stephen King book I read was Cell, and I mean, I don't really have a good reason why. I have like Duma Key and a couple of his newer books on my to read list, but just haven't gotten around to it. I've been reading some other authors. I mean, I feel like once you read enough of a certain author, you can kind of start focusing on other authors. Like Vonnegut, for example, my all-time favorite author, Kurt Vonnegut. I haven't read everything that he's written. I read most of it, most of his books, but then kind of got to the point where once you read about 10 Kurt Vonnegut books, they all start kind of feeling the same. So you kind of move on to another author and another voice, and see what's out there. Your time is just so limited. There's just no way to read all the good books out there. So I feel like I don't know. Anyway, I'll have to take eventually. No, I probably will never read The Stand. Probably will never read The Stand. I like a good surprise in a book, and I've watched the movie at least 3 times, the little mini series. I just don't think that I know what's coming. I know what's coming, and it's okay, guys. We're on a break. 3 minutes 31 seconds. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate y'all being here. And that Ace's cracked meter is actually supposed to be at 4. So let me go ahead and edit that command. That's better. Guys, we'll be right back. It's a good deal, Nilesy. Sirens of Titan for the stand, that's a really good deal. You know how much longer the stand is than Sirens of Titan? Sirens of Titan is this little pulp sci-fi book from, the 50s, early 60s. I think we're going to start doing a little 2.5x. Check it out, Louis. Louis says Sirens of Titan is my all-time favorite. Sirens of Titan is my all-time favorite book too. It's my absolute favorite book. It's by Kurt Vonnegut, and look at this. This is one of my treasures, right? I haven't done show and tell on the stream for a while, so this is a first edition, first print of Sirens of Titan. It did come out on. This is not actually that expensive a book. It's in pretty good condition, but it did come out on hardback about a year after, and those first edition hardbacks are pretty expensive. You can find a first edition, first printing of Sirens of Titan though on eBay every once in a while for, like sometimes for less than $20. This one was a little bit more expensive just because it's in pretty good condition. It's like pretty unread condition. But look at this. Shaytak got his fist bump patches this weekend. Good to hear it, Shaytak. Great to see you here in the stream, and I'm glad that they found you. Okay, a little ace jack off suit. We're gonna go ahead and make the raise, and again we're down to 2.5x. Here we go. Against triple up? Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for the little half pot size bet. 225 really shouldn't change the strength of our hand. And triple up raising here is basically saying, oh, I've got a pocket pair. I've got sixes. I've got sevens here. Trying to figure out where he's at. It's a tough one. I mean, if he doesn't have a pocket pair, we're ahead. And even if he does have a pocket pair, we're looking at 24%. Sometimes we can move him off of it. You know what, though, triple up, it's enough of a raise that I'm going to go ahead and give you credit for not only having a pocket pair in your hand, but also folding it. Or not folding it. Also calling if we raise, so I'm going to go ahead and make the... Gonna go ahead and make the fold there with ace jack, and I'm not feeling good about it. So we have a little 60% increase in stack size in this 25K so far. A little 30% decrease in our stack size in this weekly Sunday. And I don't think I'm going to juggle more than 2 tournaments here today, especially when they're $200 plus buy-ins. No Tilt here says, yo, Dutch, good luck tonight, man. Got to go pick up my girlfriend from the airport and use my Christmas gift cards to the Olive Garden or to see the new movie, The Revenant. I had to look this up. I didn't know what Revenant meant. What is a Revenant? Turns out Revenant means ghost. The Revenant means the ghost. So you might be wondering, why didn't they just call it the Ghost? Why wasn't it just called the Ghost? Why did they have to go all complex on us and call it the Revenant? Why'd they have to make me use my dictionary and ask Google? I don't know. I guess the Revenant sounds cooler. Shoot, what was the bet? Okay, making the raise. Again, we're going to we're gonna stick with this 2.5x. Huh. It's a pretty good flop in this Winter Poker Classic. Check that out. We defended in the big blind. Luckbox 86 had come in for like 260 something. Oil Boy called in the cutoff here. And depending on how this goes, we might check raise, we might check call. If Luckbox were the one to have bet and Oil Boy called or folded, then we'd probably check raise. Oil Boy firing out here, though, I'm going to go ahead and just make the call, hoping to get Luckbox 86 to come along and make this a little bit juicier of a proposition for us. That's the plan. Little 8 of spades, and we'll see what Oil Boy does. We might get blown off the hand, but maybe not. I mean, we're not counting on just 9 outs here. Kind of counting on all 15 outs, which puts us at about 30%. So getting the right odds to make this call. Part of me wants to just go ahead and make the raise. Actually, I think a good chunk of the time we have him beat. So let's do it. Let's make the raise. Good chunk of the time he actually has a diamond draw as well, like a king queen diamond draw. And a lot of other times we can get him off of better, like pocket nines, for example. I don't think he's calling. Ace queen, for example, he's not going to call. So there it is. We got him off. It worked. We don't have to think too much about it. We can just feel happy about it. How did those pocket fives work out for us? We raised pre-flop, and we got the blinds. Didn't even have to worry about seeing a flop. We didn't have to worry about quad mining. We just took it down. And we got papaya on the table here in the Winter Festival. Let's go ahead and make the call here with a Jack 6 of hearts. Getting almost 6-1. Feels like a call with just about any two that have some sort of reasonable shot at hitting something. Jack 6 of hearts has something. Somewhere around, what's the chances of flopping a flush? Not too good. You're looking at like 20-1 to flop the flush. And maybe another around 20-1 to flop something like like a 2-pair hand or a trips hand. So maybe like 1 in 10, we're actually hitting something decent here where we feel good about the hand. I would say it's probably more like maybe another 7% to actually hit like a flush draw with a pair maybe. So somewhere around like the 15% mark, we're going to be able to see a flop there and feel somewhat happy about it. Getting 6-1 plus the implied odds, I think, makes the call just fine. We got Legum on our left. Legum with 4760. We'll get out of his way. You got that one, buddy. You want to come on? Oil Boy firing out 750. Gosh, I kind of want to see another turn. Making the fold. Oh, it was this. That was the hand. Oil Boy raised pre-flop. We called. Papaya was in there as well. We'll make it 250 if Schriever folds. If Schriever raises, we'll get out of his way. And Virgin Ice, did we take out the bracelets? Yeah, look. Here we are. Oh, we're just all about the show and tell today, aren't we? We've got the 2014. We've got the 2006 behind us. Let me go ahead and make this raise over here in the Weekly Sunday. (2006) and my personal favorite, 2010. 2010 was a good year for the bracelet. See if that'll work. Banana Anna might have put up a little defense. She might have. In another universe, she might have. So yeah, we've got the bracelet power. Louis Helm. You know what? I love Dan. Dan Heimiller. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Had a little bite to eat with him just last month during the Planet Hollywood. He's definitely a friend of mine. Every once in a while he'll invite me out to a movie and I'll be like, yeah, I can't make it. Every once in a while we'll be on the trail and we'll go grab dinner together. And every time we see each other at the along the tournaments, it's always exchange pleasantries and talk about life. He's a good guy. Man, what a year he had. It was 2014, right? When he won his when he took down his second bracelet in the seniors event. A huge event, 700,000 I think for first. He's pretty funny. I've got some good Dan Heimiller stories. I've told them before on stream. But he's pretty decent too. He's been around the game a long time. He knows what he's doing. It's the new button raise. Ace Jack offsuit. Looks pretty good. Against a full table of just crushers. Core Bomb in the big blind getting out of there. Thank you very much, Core Bomb, for showing a little bit of respect to the under the gun raise. So, Nilesy, talking about The Revenant being the next big Oscar sweep, I'm going to have to think about that. You might be right. I don't know. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. But I felt like the best actor in the whole thing was the bear. That was a pretty horrifying scene, and it did feel real. And it was also like, it was just like, I don't know, it definitely stuck with me for a while. The whole movie stuck with me a little bit. 2.5x. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put up the defense here. Having a little position. We'll see a flop and see if we can just crush it. Instead, we completely whiff it, and we're looking at 6 high. So there it is. That's hand core bomb. Flatfish 52, you definitely have the same core group of players on wsop.com. I mean, the faces do change. You know, you do see some some new players every once in a while, and you see some players that you haven't seen for a while. But for the most part, you know, you look around the table and you're always going to have a few people that you've played with a lot. You know, I've got a lot of history with Nitch. I've got a lot of history with Legum. You know, we've got history. We got Corbomb actually hanging out in the stream with us right now. Flop Shopper and Telomere have got some notes on. The only two people that I don't really recognize at this table is Sester and Banana Anna. If we switch over to the we switch over to the Winter Festival where I'm sitting here with Ace High on this is a super scary board. It's not really anybody that I don't recognize. Oil Boy, I don't really recognize Oil Boy. And Luckbox 86, I don't know, I feel like I've played with him before, but don't really have any notes on him or anything. Josh for Jazz, I've played with a few times, but I don't really have much to say about him. Price of poker going up. Back over here in the 20K guarantee, where we're looking at a little over 20 big blinds, and it's the kind of stack where we're just gonna kind of wait around until probably fade a big blind and a small blind, and then stick around until that ante kicks in, and we're gonna be looking at about 16, 17 bigs, and having a pretty good 3-bet shove stack. That's the plan anyway. Ugh. This Winter Festival one didn't go as this didn't go like I planned here. Beach Reaver made the raise. I figured I'd go ahead and 3-bet and just take it down. Instead, Josh for Jazz decides to be a spoiler and calls in the big blind. So now what do we do? Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and fire out a half-pot size bet, put a little pressure on Josh for Jazz, but I mean, I kind of feel like 10s or jacks or 9s is a pretty likely hand for Josh for Jazz, and I don't know that he folds any of that. I also don't know that he folds the ace-queen, you know, but, I mean, we got to try. We're putting out a half-pot size bet to win $22.95. It's not going to be like Josh for Jazz is going to be jumping for joy with that kind of flop. Man, I mean, this could get pretty brutal right here. If we went ahead and re-raised, maybe we get Josh for Jazz off 9s. I don't know. Probably thought a little too long about it to make it an effective raise. It's just kind of one of those spots where maybe Josh for Jazz is outplaying us there. Maybe he's gonna like turn over Queen Jack suited and be like, I got you, and it's just like, okay, way to call off an eighth of your stack against a raise and a re-raise against two solid players with a hand that can't beat pocket 9s. Just kind of asking to get beat there, but nice hand. Making the raise here, 2.5x. We're doing it. We're doing it. Papist. Man, I will tell you, so that was 2004, the Raz event against TJ. I can't say that I really deserve that bracelet. He knew what he was doing. He's a much better Raz player than I am for sure. So Josh for Jazz, man. That VPIP a little bit wide open there, buddy. A little bit. 720, 900 is what we're looking at here. And, yeah, I'll go ahead and make the call, getting 2.5 plus position. A little Jack, 7, King. Is this the kind of flop we're looking for? Not really. We're ahead of 8s. We're ahead of ace queen. That's about it. Let's switch over to this. I don't want to look at this hand anymore. This hand is a train wreck. That looks better. Nilesy. This is my fave bracelet of yours, Dutch 2016. Thank you very much for the confidence, Nilesy. Let it be. Making the fold here with a 7-4 off. And we got another hand kind of brewing over here. Josh for Jazz, putting up a little defense on the button against our pre-flop raise. And then it comes 4-4-9. It should be a good flop for us, I guess. 4-4-9. Pocket fives figures to be ahead pre-flop and post. Making the fold here with a Jack-4 off. 3 minutes away from the antes kicking in the weekly Sunday. And still a good chunk of a distance away from the add-on period. Looks like we got another 34 minutes for the add-on period to wrap up in this Winter Poker Classic. Or it's an 87.50 so far for first. Maybe it'll go up. Should go up. So far they've got 55 buy-ins plus 11 rebuys. So 66 players, all ponying up $200 a bullet for 13,200. And if we get like another, we'll have a few more late entries for sure. Let's go ahead and go back to the Disneyland tournament of the day where we got that 20K guarantee. And the antes are going to be kicking in here in 2 minutes and 29 seconds. The real tournament starts, and we're going to be looking at about 19 bigs. Just cruising, guys. Just cruising. Feeling pretty good today. We got the green tea power, you guys. Making the fold here with Queen High. It's kind of an interesting one. We got B. Shriver making a min raise from under the gun. Jack 10 suited under the gun +1, making the call. Inviting some other players to come along for the ride. Josh for Jazz says, yeah, I'll come along. Not only am I going to call, I'm going to actually raise. Let's go ahead and make it 1,100, he says. We'll see what B. Shriver does. If Shriver calls, then maybe we come along too. Nah, you know what? We're just done with the hand. Hoping for a semi-cheap flop instead. Go ahead and take that one, Josh for Jazz. And yeah, Josh for Jazz, you have been you've been upgraded. Officially upgraded to a bull from a nobody. Going from an unknown to bull. Got some notes on you. Coming up with some correlations. You better watch that timing. Better watch those amounts, buddy. Putting in a lot of action. Here we go. Let's switch over to the 20K where we've got a little bit of a hand brewing, making the 2.5x with a pocket tens hand. The 5th best hand in all of poker. By the way, Kevin Lee, good to see you in the stream, man. Give me that good luck wish. Really appreciate that. We also have Boogeyman 1121 chilling out. hanging out with us in a light and rage. Popping in for a minute. Good to see you. Let's fire out the same amount, 400 into the 880. Hope to just take it from Sestra. And we do. Pocket tens is going to remain the best hand. Flop shopper making a min raise under the gun. I'm going to go ahead and make the fold there. What do we do here? If Decaf and Shriver fold, I think that we're going to go ahead and take a shot at Josh for Jazz. With a little ace deuce. It's a good hand. What do we do if Shriver raises? Then it's like, we could probably 3-bet. It's not a bad situation for a 3-bet. The problem is we 3-bet Shriver so often here. And the last time we did it, Josh for Jazz called, and then we just had to check fold our king-queen suited. So let's make the fold. A little nitty maybe. 21.5 over in the 20K guarantee. Back and forth we go. Enlightened rage. Oh man, I like that. Not so much, just chilling, killing. Well, not so much killing. Oh man. It's 21 bigs. We're going to go ahead and fade a big blind, small blind here. Then we're going to look for some good spots to 3-bet shove. Or we're going to look for good spots to open up against some big blinds. Which big blinds can we attack here? Kind of tough looking around. Looking for the spots. That's pretty ugly. Okay, Banana Anna making the call here. How's everything going?
I might be allergic to shrimp.
No. Shrimp? I don't think
It's a
so.
little itchy, but I think it's in my mind.
I guess you can develop allergies, right? You can develop allergies later in life. Wow, guys, this was a weird hand. So I had made it 400, and then Luckbox 86 comes along and re-raises to 900 with jacks. Papaya decides to call in the big blind with Queen 6 of hearts. Why? I have no idea. I really don't know. I mean, like, why would Papaya get so sticky in the big blind there? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Papaya has a lot of success at these online tournaments. So, like, Papaya used to be a bony fish for those kind of plays, but then he also just kept on making final tables, so we changed him to a bull. I still I don't think that that's a profitable play. I mean, making a call of a raise and a 3-bet in the big blind with Queen 6 suited, I think it's a really ugly play. I think it's an ugly play. I think it's a bad call. Worked out for him. Papaya making making the hand. I don't like it. I think it's pretty bad. So yeah, this is it. We're looking for the type of hand where we can 3-bet shove with some fold equity. This looks like it's gonna. It's definitely the hand, right? Let's do it. Let's just get it all in there. Pick up 1200 if flop shopper decides to fold. Maybe flop shopper calls, and we're loving it. Just get the double up with ace jack. There we go. Hold. That'll do. Up to 8,000. And yeah, flop shopper, I would have called me too. And bony fish, man. Yeah, let's do it. Let's run some ideas. I would love to hear some ideas that you want to run by me. Let's do an HPT viewing party this week. You pick a day, bony fish. Make it happen. Asking, did we ever hear from E. James about his trip to Sin City? No, I haven't. So let's see how this is probably going to go down. Maybe Legum does a 3-bet shove, in which case he's going to get through us. If he doesn't, flop shopper probably calls. We probably both whiff it. And then we see bet post. Ace King 2. Flop shopper. Maybe you have a weak ace. Maybe you have a smaller pocket pair. If you've got the small pocket pair, I don't think you're calling this. If you've got the weak ace, you probably are, and we're giving up unless we end up with the runner. So he calls. Probably has the weak ace. Making the fold here with the 10 high. Nice hand there, flop shopper. Way to get stubborn. Way to stick around. I'll tell you guys, HPT has really been shaking things up over there. Pretty much the whole editing team is being let go, along with a lot of the management over there up in Fargo. They're moving their operations down to St. Louis, from what I hear. Derek Melliker is no longer with the organization. I will miss him. He's a great guy. I haven't talked to James Larson. Got to assume that he's probably going to stick around, but who knows? I mean, they're really shaking things up. And then the whole editing team, like Casper and Ooh, I think that they're sticking in Fargo. I don't think they're coming down with the rest of the only like core like management guy who's sticking around is Corey Stewart. And that would make sense because his hometown is St. Louis. He's probably thrilled with the move. Having a lot more exposure to St. Louis than Missouri, I kind of like the move too. Or like having more exposure to St. Louis than Fargo. I don't really ever like go to Fargo unless I'm hitting up an HPT commentary. It does look like Robert Williamson III got that full-time commentary position though. I'm gonna go make the call here against Papaya, making the under the gun raise. I don't know that for sure, but I assume it based on how he's been introduced, starting on episode 206, where James Larson starts introducing him not as a professional poker player Robert Williamson III, but my broadcast partner. So I think that's probably gonna do it. But hopefully we'll still be doing a lot of commentary with the viewing parties, maybe some live streams. I'm going to do a little tweeting. Out. We got Luckbox86. We got Papaya checking to us. Ace 8 of spades. Do I want to go ahead and fire out? I I think I could probably actually buy some outs here. We might have the best hands. Let's go ahead and fire out a half pot size bet and see if maybe we can get Luckbox and Papaya to just give it up. Instead, Luckbox says, nope, I'm going to go ahead and see a turn card. Hopefully, Luckbox, you're looking at like an ace-4 or an ace-5. Let's check back. That's our money card right there. That's the one we're looking for. And now I guess we hope Luckbox 86 has an ace-4. Oil boy with a queen 8. We end up splitting that little side or that little main pot, but the money was in the side pot. So it was a nice little bump. JD Cole, shut up, you. I think Panthers next week over Seattle is a great pick. Well, I think you're wrong, JD Cole. Don't say that, man. Come on. Seahawks are going all the way. You know how sad June's going to be if her favorite NFL player, Russell Wilson, does not make a Super Bowl this year? Let's fire out the same amount against your Papaya. That's kind of our design or flop there. Jeez. That's a fun little stat. So Nutch making the raise in the 20K weekly Sunday. I'm gonna go ahead and make the call here with a 10-7 of hearts. 4-5-8 of diamonds. Not really the flop we're looking for. Bonyfish says, okay, here's an idea. We slightly touched on this before. Is it more important in MTT to accumulate chips or knock out players? It's much more important, Bonyfish, to accumulate chips, and it's not even close. In fact, there's going to be some times in tournaments where you're better off not knocking out players, and because having at some points in the tournament, let's say you are at the final table, and you're in a situation where you've got 50% of the chips in play, and you're the chip leader, obviously, and there's like six-handed, you're six-handed. And the money jumps are pretty significant. I mean, at that point, you really shouldn't be going out of your way to knock people out. Oh, what a dream situation this is. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a raise here. I think that a raise actually looks weaker. It looks like maybe we're trying to isolate. I mean, we're probably not going to get a call anyway from Nuts or Banana Anna, but it doesn't matter. I mean, what a dream situation. I don't think that if we call, we're getting calls from Nutch anyway. So, might as well do this, and maybe we get a call from Queens or Jacks or Ace King. Maybe. Maybe 10s or 9s can look at Flop Shopper and say, well, he's got an Ace King, and he's got it. Wow, what a stupid flop for that. Let's see, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous right there. Let's go ahead and flop a set and lose. God damn it. That was pretty brutal. So 7,000 going to Flop Shopper instead of our stack. That's a pretty big difference between 10,400 and 3,359. It's pretty ugly. Pretty ugly. Well, Kings against Ace Jack twice. I guess we're not supposed to lose. We're not supposed to win both of them. Yeah, so Bonyfish, going back to the difference between accumulating chips and knocking out players, there's going to be lots of times when you're a lot better at actually keeping players in that spot. It makes it easier to accumulate chips when there's 5 guys all going for second place. You really shouldn't be going out of your way in that situation to just knock players out. Instead, you should be trying to push them all down equally. You go after the guy in second and third and kind of push them down while letting the stragglers in fifth and sixth stick around. If someone is in second or third place and you've got 55% of the chips in play, they're not going to go out next in sixth place. So actually, a lot of times there's a direct conflict between the two. There's a direct conflict between, do you want that knocking players out actually makes accumulating chips harder. Between the two interests, you always want to be going for accumulating chips in tournaments. I mean, most tournaments, there's going to be some differences. There's going to be some situations where, wow, what do we do here? 240, and we've got 3,600 to start, so 15 bigs. A normal raise kind of feels wrong. It definitely opens the door for Nutch to make a 3-bet shove, or Legum to make a 3-bet shove, but it also feels wrong to just open ship. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some tournament situations where you're better off trying to knock out players than accumulating chips, and those are generally going to be like satellite type situations, or situations where there's not really like when you're like around the bubble, for example, and there's not going to be really significant pay jumps after the bubble bursts. For the most part, though, always err on the side of accumulation over knockouts. I guess also when there's bounties, right? If there's bounties, then that EV formula changes quite a bit. Well, let's go for a little half-pot check raise here. I think we can get Josh for Jazz off of a lot of hands. Fire out a little half-pot size bet on the turn. The problem is it's a little bit draw-heavy, so he could be putting us on a hand like Queen 10 of clubs or something like that, Ace 6 of clubs, and maybe decides that he can move us off of it. Do we just give up entirely, or do we fire out another bullet? I guess we just give up. The problem with the Queen of Diamonds is now he's going to hero call us because he can put us on a hand like Ace 6 of clubs and a whiffed flush draw. So we'll just give up and see how light he was calling us. Pocket 8s, Josh for Jazz. Is that what we're looking at? Yeah, bony fish, there are definitely some times when implicit collusion is the correct move, where you should be ganging up on an all-in player to try to knock them out, but most of the time you're better off forcing the other guy out and taking getting some dead money against an all-in player. I remember a few years ago, it must have been 2007. I was playing the WPT in Tunica, and there was a hand that went down in the main event. It was a 10K main event. Eric Lindgren was in the big blind, and a woman shoves under the gun, and she only had like 3 big blinds. And it goes around, and it's called. The small blind calls, and Eric's in the big blind, and he makes a pot-sized bet. And then it goes fold, 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 and she turns over ace queen, and he turns over 8-5. And several of the players like, why would you do that? We should be ganging up to knock her out. And he looked at him like, okay, you play how you want to play. I'm okay with a move. I mean, it was a great move. He ended up winning the pot too. She got a really bad beat. But when you look at it, she had ace queen against his undercards, and there was tons and tons of dead money in the pot. There were also probably there was probably an ace or a queen that were not live at that point. So no, I don't hate his move at all. Let's go ahead and make the call here. I don't think that Papaya. How does Papaya fold there? But he calls with queen six suited against a raise and a re-raise. I don't understand it. Papaya is playing a different game here, I guess. B. Shriver making the check. And yeah, you know what, Shriver? I'm going to go ahead and just try to take this pot, I suppose, with a little half pot size bet. We're going to go ahead and take that one. Up here, we've got king 7 off. And maybe that would have been the move right there. B. Water raising. Maybe we just shove it. I don't know. JD Cole 72, I've got a tracking number actually for you. You guys should be getting it on, I think, Tuesday. If you want the tracking number, I'll give it to you, but just know it is on its way. And Seattle Pro's getting his Kindle Fire as well. So 16 bigs. It's going to be a shove if one of these guys raises. And there it is. Corbomb making the raise. Go ahead and fire out the shove. If we pick up the pot without having to fade a flop, I'm fine with it. If we do get called, hopefully he's got a smaller pocket pair instead of the overcards. And if he's got the overcards, well, we're on the right side of the flip. If he's got tens or jacks or queens, well, here comes the vomit all over the keyboard. Instead, he makes the fold, and we're back to starting stack in this weekly Sunday. Pocket sevens. Is this the same spot, really? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 big blinds now. Not quite the same spot, especially since they all folded to us. Let's go ahead and fire out a 2.5x. And we'll call a leg or a nudge 3-bet shove. Sure. Absolutely. There it is. Calling 1890. Pocket kings. Nice hand there to leg 'em. So now we're back down to 55. Let's see, 25.89. Ugh. Quality assurance check we did. We got the 10th place finish in the 30 re-entry for a little bit of money back. Wasn't really that good of a night last night though. It's a cute quote, Papist. I kind of like that. I'm going to go ahead and make the fold here. Feels wrong to just shove with ace rag. You trying to cheer me up, little dog? You want to see how this... Come on up. Nope. And go away. Purple Haze, 11-12. Sammy Farah is not a bad player. I think it's actually kind of funny that you would say that because he's not. It's not a bad player. It's a good player. How many bracelets does Sammy Farah have? I think 3. I think Sammy Farah has 3 bracelets. His last one was in 2010, I want to say. So it's not like, it's not like there are 3 bracelets from the 80s. Like some players that you probably respect. Yeah, he's won 3 bracelets of the WSOP. Second in the main event. So I don't really see how you can put him in a bad player category. But I will agree with this. Purple Haze 1112. If you've actually read his book really sucked. And he had some just flat out bad information. Now, there was one little excerpt in this book where he recommended folding the best hand to make sure to lock in your profit in cash game situations, which is it's just bad advice. It's just actually bad advice. Talks about how important it is to look like you're rich, which is just like, okay, whatever, man. I thought the book was actually really bad, but he did, it was a PLO book, and he did talk about some concepts in PLO that hadn't really been fleshed out much before that. So I mean, in a vacuum, it's not horrible. There's some little nuggets in there that are worthwhile to pay attention to. Yeah, so tell him you're making the raise here. Gosh. What a lame raise from me. I'm going to go ahead and make the call here and defend. I hate it. Wow. So 4, 5, 6, 7 king. I'm going to go ahead and check shove, I suppose. What do we do if he makes the shove for us? What if he just makes a 1984 shove? I don't know. Here we go. Hold your breath, guys. I wouldn't mind a fold on his part. If he calls, then let's hope that he's got a stupid hand like ace 3 and not a king. Okay, so he makes the fold. We get through with our semi bluff. We're back up to 36.76, which is just fine. Draco BX saying Jamie Stable's little brother making a run on the Sunday Million. How great would it be if Poker Staples PA, if Jamie's personal assistant ended up quitting his job after a big score? I would like to see that. Really would. Okay, making the fold here. So we have this hand going on, which looks pretty good. And yeah, let's make a raise here. Dan Highmiller behind us. Good to see you, Dan. Dan doesn't watch Twitch. He's never watched our stream. I've talked to him about Twitch a lot. A few months ago, he was like, "So, what exactly is Twitch, Dutch? Is it like is it like on TV?" I was like, "Yeah, I love you, man." Dan, you're the best. Yes, it's on TV. It's on TV, Dan. Nazi says, "Looks like you could use some coffee, bud." Examo.
I'll get some in
I'm just joking, baby. I'm not doing that. We're on break here in a minute, so H Swin, good to see you. He says, "Hey Dutch, I've been watching your YouTube videos a lot as I play poker, and I just want to let you know how much I've improved from your knowledge and expertise. I came 4th in the 6K guaranteed last week and won $620. H Swin, nice job, man. 4th place in the 6K guarantee. There had to be a lot of runners, and you should be proud of that accomplishment. Nice job, and appreciate you stopping by and being here." Okay, guys, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. I think that we're actually at the add-on period in this Winter Poker Classic, so I kind of want to make sure that we get that before I move. And in the weekly Sunday, it looks like we're going to be at about 14 big blinds when we get back. Not great. Not great. I'm not going to be super happy about it. But it's not, it's not so bad. We'll be a little short stacked, but we'll find the right spots to make the right moves. We know how to handle a small stack. I think so a good piece of advice that I heard from a buddy of mine who at one time was ranked 11th in the world online, which is pretty significant. Mike Wasserman. He said a big part of MTT success is understanding that in a tournament you're going to have to play all the different stack sizes. You're going to have to play a big stack. You're going to have to play a small stack. It's very rare in a tournament to just be wire to wire, 100 big blinds all the way through until you're done. It's a roller coaster ride, and you need to understand how to play a stack of 7 big blinds and 15 big blinds and 25 big blinds and 40 plus. All the different M color zones. If your chief is USA, all the different all of those different big blind stacks. If you're everybody else, guys, we're gonna be right back in about 4 minutes. I'm gonna go get some coffee and don't go anywhere. Okay, guys, we're back. We're
Did you get
back.
more coffee? Did you want more
I got a little bit of green tea, actually.
You want coffee too?
No.
I made some new coffee.
Nope, I'm okay. I'm in good shape. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 bigs. I think this is probably the spot right here, you guys. This is it. Tell them you're open limping, under the gun. Flop shopper, core bomb, and B water. All probably folding. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and make that shove. Was that about 13, 14 big blinds? We can pick up a quarter of our stack without even having to fade a flop. When we do, we're probably up against a smaller pocket pair and looking at a coin flip. So going from, yeah, that's good. Pick up 1,000. How much should we have to start that hand? Shoot. 34.81 to 42.81, so we pick up 800. It's going to help keep us alive. Let's make that fold. I guess I should probably look around and see what other tournaments are going on. Looks like that reloader has started 2 minutes ago. Yeah, guys, by the way, make sure to click on that follow button. If you're not already following the stream, it definitely helps us out. If you're new and haven't been around that much, it definitely helps us out when you click on the follow button. And big shout out to all of our new subs, by the way, and all of the guys who've been sticking with us for almost the whole time. A couple of you guys have really been with us since like the very beginning. So thank you guys for supporting the stream. Pappas, I'm talking to you, buddy. Thank you, man. Enlightened Rage. King keeps coming. JD Cole 72. I heard High Miller was Captain Kangaroo's stunt double. I think that's true, actually. I believe that is actually that was a former profession. Captain Kangaroo didn't really have that many dangerous stunts, but I think that is true, yeah. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Don't tell me. Making the fold here with 9-7 offsuit. Pepsi tastes good AF. Says, hey Dutch, reading Poker Tilt on my free time. Really enjoying it. Thank you very much, buddy. For, let me go ahead and make a little plug, guys. If you haven't read Poker Tilt, pretty good read. You can pick up the paperback copy on Amazon. You can also pick up the digital copy on the Kindle store. If you happen to have a Kindle or happen to have a 1-1 in the PokerZero.com league, you can pick it up in the store. It's also on Kindle Unlimited. So if you sign up for that service, you can read it for free. You can also get a free downloadable copy if you subscribe to the stream. So one of the many sub perks that we try to give to you guys, if you actually reach into your wallet and say, you know what, I'm going to buy that little couple in Vegas of beer. Okay, maybe we're not going to spend the $5 on a beer. Maybe we'll spend it on groceries or dog food or bandwidth. But every once in a while, go out and buy a little 6-pack of Angry Orchard, and I say, you know what? This wouldn't be possible. This wouldn't be possible without Pepsi Tastes Good AF. A little pocket eights action. What a dream hand this is. Beautiful. B water in the small blind decides to go ahead and steal, and I'm going to go ahead and make the ship. If he raises, I call. Queen 10. Let's hope to win that flop. God damn it. So, on the right side of it, and then the flop comes out Ace King, and I'm still feeling pretty good, and then B water just makes me want to break my webcam. screaming to my mic. God, I hate busting out. It's the lamest thing. I got a good idea, Dutch. I'm going to go ahead and just shove here for 16 big blinds with queen high. And hopefully you have a smaller pocket pair if you call. God, I hate it. I just hate it. Okay, we're done with that one. Let's go ahead and remove it. Back to the 25K guaranteed. This is the more important tournament anyway, I suppose. 8,659 up top in this one. I feel just sick to my stomach. 74 entrants, 25 rebuys, 52 add-ons. I hate poker right now. It'll pass. It'll take it'll take about 30 seconds for it to pass, but it's just maddening. First those kings and then the eights, and it's just like, oh gosh, those sevens against leggings, kings. Okay, oil boy. I'm gonna go ahead and make the fold here. I'm gonna take a couple of deep breaths. Try to forget that ever happened. Gosh. That weekly Sunday, guys, it's elusive. That's an elusive one. We've gotten second place in it. Never won it yet. We have not won that $200 tournament yet. I keep on promising Exmoor. When we eventually do, and it'll happen. Eventually it'll happen just because we play it every single weekend. We'll win it eventually. And when we do, we're going to take a little Disneyland trip. Got so close a few months ago. Coming in second, I can't even remember to who. But it also wasn't like a close second. We were pretty much short stacked the whole table. When we finally got heads up, it was kind of a blessing in disguise just to be able to. Not even in disguise. It's just a blessing to even get that, that far of a finish, because I felt like we were going to just get sixth. Randiferous 8, good to see you in the stream, man. Supposedly green tea also has a calming effect. Besides improving, enhancing cognitive ability, the combination of caffeine and L-thiamine is supposed to also calm you down. So, here's to you, Bee Water. Citrus making the raise. You know what I feel like I'm going to get into? I'm not going to get into anything. I'm going to just focus on this $200 tournament. This is a big deal. Let's go ahead and get that payout up on the left-hand side. Remind ourselves what we're playing for. Best way to cure tilt is to just go win some money. So let's do it. $8,659. I'll take it. That's a good chunk of cash. Head kick 702. Good to see you in the stream. Let's go ahead and make the raise here. 680 is what we're making it at the 280 level. Tapering those pre-flop amounts down. No longer doing a 2.5x. Now we're doing a little less. And once it gets to the 150-300, we'll make it 700. So even a little less of a multiple. Luckbox deciding to go ahead and look us up. And that's a pretty good flop, I guess, for Queen Jack. I don't hate it. Firing out half pot into Luckbox 86. We're not making it the same amount because he has position on us, so we would be making it the same amount if we're up against Citrus, against Papaya, or against Luckbox 86. We're going to go ahead and fire out a half pot. The 10 of clubs hits, and you know what, Luckbox? I don't actually think that you have a 10. If you did, I think that you would have at least thought about raising on the flop. So we're going to go ahead and fire out, And yeah, let's go ahead and fire this out too. Look at this, we got Nalzi donating $10. How much even is beers? Hopefully $10. Any thoughts of on Esfandiari DQ from PCA main event? No, I didn't have any thoughts on that. Luckbox, what the fuck? How the hell do you just call there with eights full? Like, head is exploding right now. I don't really even understand. Like, why call that? That's like such a nitty freaking call. I mean, are you that worried about us having quad tens that you're not going to go ahead and put a little value bet out there? And supposed to lose a little bit more, I think, guys. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one. So, the board ran out 10-10-8-4 Jack on the end, and Luckbox is so worried about not having the nut hand. I guess there's one combination of quad tens and 6 combinations of Jacks full, plus the 9-7 and no. Straight is nothing. So, fuck are you afraid of, dude? Why do you make the call there? It's just horrible. It's just horrible. I mean, I'm happy. I should be really happy because I'm on the receiving end of that. I basically feel like this whole tournament right now is a free roll. On a board of 10, 8, 4, 10 Jack, decided to just to call every street, including the river. Just amazing. Just an amazingly passive, super tight passive line to take. I mean, I can understand slow playing the flop. On the turn when the 10 of clubs happens, I can understand slow playing that too. I don't think that he should. I think that he's actually giving up quite a bit of value by not raising the flop, not raising the turn. But I can see an argument for slow playing on the flop. On the turn, I think that he probably should have been raising there. And then on the river, just a call, it's horrible. I mean, like, I can come up with so many combinations of hands that I could have where I'm gonna pay off a bet there. Maybe I'm even paying off the bet with what we had, the combination that we had, which is Queen Jack. XTV 1993, thanks for being here, man. 7 months in a row. Really appreciate you supporting the stream. XTV, thank you, man. H. Schwinn, it's good to see you, man. I'm not really sure. You're gonna have to ask. Twitch about that. I think that there's ways to pay for a sub without having it be recurring, and you can also, do the sub and cancel it right away. So that's what I have to say about that. I mean, I'm in a bad mood right now. I'm sorry, you guys. That was between the pocket eights and the pocket kings from the last tournament, and then Luckbox 86 just nit calling us. It's what we call a nit roll. I mean, like, I'm still just like, my head is still exploding. He had eights full. Yeah, like, it was Jack 10-10-8-4.
This is it right now. It's happening right now.
I'm still just like.
I'm getting ready to use Niles' cat.
By the way, Niles, thanks for the 6-pack, bud. I really do appreciate that. It happened right during you donated at a weird time in the stream, so. Oh man, I'm still just like, my head still feels like it's gonna explode. Yeah.
He didn't raise you.
No.
Shouldn't you raise?
Yes.
I love that cat. Okay, I'm going back to work now. Jim, come on.
So BRB VFL, you're not raising 2.5x anymore. No, sir. We are tapering. That's what we call a tapering. So we start out at about 3x. Eventually we go down to 2.5x, and we keep on moving it down as the blinds go up. And as the blinds, compared to the effective average stack, as that ratio shrinks. I did a pretty long poker clinic about this whole idea of tapering, and tapering your pre-flop amount. And I encourage you to go take a look at it on the YouTube channel. You can also find it in the highlights here on Twitch TV. I also wrote an article about it in All In magazine. And when I think about like the big changes of that my own tournament poker strategy has like how it's evolved in the last 10 years, that whole idea of tapering is a big part of it. Mason Jersey age. Jennifer Tilly maybe is Luckbox 86. That's pretty funny. That's referring to actually Pippin 87. He's joking. Let me find the video. There's a pretty famous poker hand between Jennifer Tilly and Patrick Antonius. This is pretty much this is what Mason Jersey is referring to, Pippin. See if I can find a cleaner copy. It looks pretty good. I like Jennifer Tilly. She's a real sweetheart at the table. But yeah, this was a really, really bad hand that she played. Let me go ahead and find it here. So Papaya getting knocked out by Luckbox 86, deciding to go ahead and get it all in there with the gut shot straight draw. I'm gonna have to see how that happened, because that's a lot of action to put in there, Papaya. Like, way too much action. Let's go ahead and fire out 700 into Oil Boy and Citrus's blinds. Like, wow. Papaya, did you really do that? Jesus, Papaya, firing out 16,000 into the 875. 16,000, really? You're gonna bet you're gonna bet 3.5 times the pot, all in, shoving with Queen 9 there on an 875. Like, that might be one of the worst shoves I've ever seen at the $200 level on wsop.com. I mean, Papaya, you're better than that, man. It's like, what's going on there? Today, we're gonna have to change Papaya back to that bony fish, man. We're downgrading his status again. We're downgrading that stock, going from a buy and hold to a short. I mean, like, I don't understand it. Did you guys see that? You guys saw that, right? Papaya defending the Papaya making the 3-bet with the Queen 9 suited, and then firing out 3.5 times the pot with an all-in shove. Shoved for 16,500 into a 4,500 pot. After 3-betting pre-flop. It was just horrible. Let's go ahead and make the call here against Schriever. I don't love it, but not about to just give up an under-the-gun raise for against Schriever's 3.5x there. It looks like Oil Boy is not going to even let us see a flop, and Oil Boy is probably going to be just crushed here against Schriever. Yeah, I mean, these guys are just giving it away, and Oil Boy sitting here with the 7s just slides through on the turn. I'm tilted for Schriever. Schriever, you made a good raise there. We made the call and would have just completely whiffed it. Didn't even get to see a chance. And Oil Boy decides, you know what, pocket 7s, I have no fold equity here. I'm never dominating B. Schriever, but I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my stack in anyway. I don't understand these guys today. Oil boy, you're gonna go ahead and get a little bony fish as well. I think that was a pretty bad play. Here we are with 53-67, you guys. B. Shriver decides to go ahead and fold to us. Yeah, Shriver, I'm at a loss on that one. I feel tilted just watching that. That was pretty disgusting, but maybe not as disgusting as Papaya just gifting his stack to Luckbox 86. And I'm between Papaya and Luckbox, I guess I'd rather Luckbox have the chips than Papaya. I mean, Papaya is a dangerous player if he's willing to shove 3.5 times the pot in. And I just don't understand it. Hey, Dan, I'm going to go ahead and make the raise here with what figures to be a better than random hand. Hopefully you have less than random. I don't think he's going to really put up much of a fight if he's got a hand like, the 6-3s and the 8-5s. Instead, he's got a hand like Ace-Jack, and he just decides to go ahead and put us to the test. So, nice hand there, Dan. Spin the wheel and lose. Ace-7 offsuit on the button. If it comes around, everyone folds to us. I'll probably go and take a shot at JD Candidate. And actually, we're probably at the point where it's not even a normal raise anymore. It's probably just a shove. Oil boy open limping. Is this a spot? Probably not. I don't think that we're getting a fold from Oil boy. Shriver decides to go ahead and see if he can get the fold. Shriver's gonna get the fold for 11,000. I don't think that we get it for 5,000. I feel like it's a little bit heavy of a shove there, Shriver, for 30 big blinds, but I don't really blame you, especially if you think that maybe you're going to get called from Oil Boy. I'm going to go ahead and make the fold here with 8-2 offsuit.
We are gonna like take over the poker world.
I'm not trying to be angry, Nosy. Dogfish Phil, it's good to see you in the stream, man. Thanks for sticking with us another month. Actually, I think that might be I don't think it's a brand new sub, but it's new enough where I think that you're getting the welcome email. Dogfish Phil, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here.
Do you resub? I don't even.
It'll come up.
Oh, it's late again.
Yeah.
Huh, I wonder what's wrong with Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not coming up in the.
I think I'm gonna get my makeup ready. And do you want me on the stream?
Sure.
Would you like me on the stream? I don't have to. How are you doing? Are you doing good?
No, I'm getting crushed.
Now you're getting crushed.
Yeah, you're getting crushed here. Down to 5,000, and this is we're supposed to have 15,000 here. This is the one where Luckbox 86 decided to just call with the 8s full. Then we had kind of a lame hand where we raised under the gun with 8-7 suited and got pushed out of it between B. Shriver and Oil Boy.
I like that cat.
Yeah, I do too.
I want a cat now.
I like the grumpy cat.
So cute. Where'd you get him? Oh.
Ace-10 with 12 bigs. I think it's going to be a shove, guys. I don't love it, but it's too good to fold. And we don't have enough chips in front of us to make a normal raise. So there it is. Ace-10 off, making the shove. We're never getting better to fold, but we probably have the best hand. I don't know what the push-fold charts would say. I know what my internal push-fold chart says, and it says take the 1,000, take the 22%, and just try to take it. Hey guys, you want to see this Jennifer Tilly Patrick Antonius hand? You want to see it? This is the one that Mason Jercier was talking about. Let me load it up here. This is when we were talking about Luckbox 86 just making the call with his pocket 8. So this is a kind of a famous hand between Jennifer Tilly and Patrick Antonius. Jennifer Tilly is such a sweetheart. She's a real cool person, and she's got that bracelet from the ladies event, and she's really been a good ambassador to the game. As far as skill level goes, I mean, she's definitely better than just like the average player, right? But against the average pro, I mean, especially a guy like Patrick Antonius and Eric Lindgren here. I mean, check this hand
The
out.
last 2 days without a good hand. See that logo on the middle table side?
Raise to 1200.
You gotta love this too. I mean, look at this shoulder movement here.
Raise to 1200.
Middle table side.
Look at that.
Raise to 12.
So you got like this classic elevation behavior, and then kind of like a little bit of a shrug going on.
See that logo on the middle table side?
Raise to 1200.
And Antonius looking down with, something. By the way, we're gonna go ahead and try to get through Miller's big blind, and we do. So Antonius with a suited one gapper decides to come
Contrary to
along
what
and
Patrick might
see
think,
what
Jennifer
happens.
has a real hand, and it just got better. She's flopped top set. Patrick flopped a pair of tens with a gut shot straight draw.
Bet 2000.
Very quick bet from Tilly. By the way, we're going to go ahead and do a little 3-bet action here. Hope to get through decaf. 15 big blinds. We're looking for this kind of spot where we can 3-bet with some fold equity. Decaf making the raise. We've got the king queen, and we do get through. So here comes a king. She's got jacks. Now she's a little worried that maybe he's got ace queen. And now she changes her mind and decides that he doesn't have ace queen. He checks to her now, so she decides that he has king 10. She checks back. Oh god. Oh god. And that's the best look right there. Oh, Jennifer Tilly.
I thought you had pocket kings. I was like,
I was like,
I almost thought I had you.
I think you had me pre-flop.
Jennifer Tilly
the
just
looks,
gave Patrick
the looks on these other players' faces when she checks back. I mean, she flopped this. She flopped a set, fired out on the flop, got one street of value. This is a cash game, you guys. This is high stakes poker. This is a cash game. You know, I mean, these are the kind of dream situations you're looking for, hoping that he's got like a smaller set or something, and you're just gonna be able to crush him.
Button raise, there's never anything.
Contrary to what Patrick might think, Jennifer has a real hand, and it just got better. She's flopped top set. Patrick flopped a pair of tens with a gut shot straight draw.
Bet 2000.
And, you know, I can kind of understand, actually. I can kind of understand the check on the turn and defend it as, like, it's not that bad of a play. Because checking the turn then kind of makes, Antonius decide to call a lot more rivers. Antonius could put her on a bluff on the river, thinking that, you know, pocket fours just can't beat anything, so let's go and just try to steal it. And maybe he hero calls with, like, an ace 10 or, like a queen 10 type hand, 10-9, 10-8 type hand, maybe. So she checks back. So I don't hate the check back. I don't hate this on the turn, but the river. The river when the king hits. And I mean, how many combinations of hands are out there that actually beat her? You know, you got one combination of quad kings, and then you've got there's one jack with two more kings, so you're looking at three possible hands beat her. And then you've got six tens full combinations, and you got 6 sevens full combinations, and you got I'm wrong here. You also have the king 7 and the king jack, but it's just like, wow, it's such a bad check back. It's so, it's so much being afraid of the monster under the bed, and just like, but my favorite part of the hand. My favorite part of the hand is the look on everybody's face. I don't really like this either. How she shows her hand before she has to, right? She just checks and shows over, like turns over her full house. And this one by Harmon is just like that's the best. Harmon's kind of looking at it. She's really just like, oh, I mean, look at that. She's literally biting her tongue because it's really hard for her, like, just not.
I can't be that.
And then you can see the kind of disgusted look. Look at that. Just
I can't be that.
Patrick Antonius thinks it's like the funniest check back.
I thought you had pocket kings.
I was like, I thought she had pocket kings.
I was like,
Okay.
I can't be that.
I thought you had pocket
So we don't
kings.
often do this, guys, but we're going to do it right now. We're going to go ahead and slow play. This hand, pocket aces, B. Shriever under the gun. This is exactly what we're hoping to happen. Dan Heimiller making the shove. I'd love Shriever to come along. And it doesn't get much better than that.
Patrick Antonius an unbelievable amount of credit.
We're right back up to 18,000. We get to update that that aces cracked meter. Make a raise from under the gun to 1100 the ace queen. And Chris 2856, E-Dog and I don't really asking is E-Dog still broke? We don't really share bankroll information, but he did have an incredibly good summer, so I think that he's probably okay. BK 1048, I'm going to go ahead and fire out a little half pot size bet here. And I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, E-Dog, I think that he final tabled the Colossus, which was pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm not really putting BK 1048 on a set of fives or set of sixes, and I'm not putting him on. I'm not putting him on Ace King either. There should be an Ace Jack Ace 10 usually, maybe a 7-8. That would suck. But let's put him on an Ace Jack. Fucking Ace King, Jesus. Okay, that's gonna do it for us. I would really have thought that BK 1048 would have re-raised pre-flop with the Ace King suited. We're done with it. Guys, I'm done. I don't really feel like playing anymore. Ever. Done with poker. You guys are awesome. I'm shutting the stream down. Thanks for hanging out. Wish that went a little bit better. Gosh, these fucking guys. Talk to you guys later.